Ideally, like I want to have the underhook, maybe a crossface, so I could control Ronan. But like in certain situations, your training partner is going to get an underhook, and after they get the underhook, the next thing that we want is like to get their shoulder off the mat. And eventually, what Ronan wants to do is get up on that elbow. That's an important detail, and you'll see why in a minute, right? So we've already messed up, Ronan. If you go back onto your shoulder, Ronan is on his shoulder and his hip. He has an underhook, his shoulder is off the floor. So this is worst case scenario for Ronan, me with cross-face and underhook. Ronan manages to get the underhook. The next thing he wants to get up on his shoulder, and the third thing he wants is to get up on his elbow. Alright, so one way we can shut this down, when Ronan gets the underhook and he gets up on his shoulder, to stop him getting up on his elbow, what we do is we basically put our chin over our training partner's shoulder, and we bring our weight from his right hip over to his left shoulder, and we take a near side underhook. If Ronan tries to retract his elbow back towards his hip and come up, we go for it. Like, it's impossible. Alright? If Ronan tries to do the same now, he can start to come up and then he can sweep and everything else. Simple, works really well, and the reason I like it is you don't take your weight off your training partner. So if he's on his side, he has an underhook, all I do is chin over the shoulder and I shoot my weight over to that far shoulder, pinning it, and then we take an underhook here. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is nice and simple. So everything's going to be off this tonight, is basically pummel my hand inside, cup the shoulder. I keep my chin over the shoulder so I can't get where he's not going to frame and then move away. And then basically what we do is we just pummel to free our hand for a crossface and underhook. We flare our elbow and then we put most of the weight onto our head here. And then I walk my foot up to my training partner's butt, pummel our left leg in, and then we're into the mount. Next step is, once he gets the underhook and gets his shoulder off the mat, is to bring his elbow back towards his hip and then build a frame from here. So he wants to go from a shoulder to an elbow. So knowing that, what we do is we just plant our hand on the floor, and then I bring my weight over the far shoulder here, and I just get a near side underhook here. While we're doing this as well, our main concentration on the near side is we don't want Ronan to bring his right knee up to his right elbow. You bring your knee up here, right? So knowing this, what we're going to do is we just turn our hip down. If Ronan tries to bring that knee up to his elbow, it's going to be very hard. So all we do now is pummel our hand inside, we get an underhook, crossface, head goes to the floor, all the weight goes to the head, and then we connect the shoulder to our training partner's jaw, and I walk my foot as close as I can to my training partner's butt, pummel the free foot in, and then we're in the mount with an arm isolated. Plant your hand on the inside and basically shoot your weight over here. That's all we're going to do. Alright, I'm keeping an eye on Ronan's right hip and his right knee. If you try to bring your right knee to elbow, we just turn it. We pummel the hand in, cup the shoulder so we can stay attached, and then we pummel this hand out. Flare our elbow, head goes to the floor, and then watch the way I walk my foot up to his butt so I bring my knee first. Here. Left leg goes in, and then we're in the mount with the arm isolated. What we want to do is basically just plant our hand on the inside here, knowing that Ronan needs to retract his elbow towards his hip. That's his next step. He's already got step 1, which is the underhook. Step 2, he's on the side. Step 3 is going to be get up in his elbow. If I'm lazy with my hip position, if he doesn't get step 3, he's going to go to a knee shield here, and then he'll get up in his elbow. So that's the steps, alright, a lot of time. So knowing this, I'm saying I'm clamping tight to the hip here because I'm trying to shut down that knee shield as well, and I'm leaving my hand on the inside. All while I'm also trying to isolate this knee here. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to stop him getting up in his elbow. I'm trying to stop him from moving his hips away to get a knee shield. So if you try to move your hips away, I'll just follow him. And I'm trying to stop him bringing that right knee to his elbow. Right. So bring the weight to the far side, kill the underhook. We get a reverse crossface here, and then we kill the underhook even more. Dig through with the elbow. See the way my head didn't really have to shift to the far side to pummel through with my hand. So what we did was we slide down and dig. And we cup, so if he tries to hip escape or frame, he's attached to me now. This grip's really important. Crossface underhook, chin over the shoulder, flare the elbow, up on our toes. We free our knee by walking the foot to the butt, and then watch the way I do a penetration step for our last move. Here, knee to the floor, pummel, and then now we're into isolate, straight to the back and everything else. Alright, 3, 2, 1. That's all. Even if he gets up in his elbow, and if I react quick enough, if I put my hand, like say, behind his elbow, like I can get rid of this. Here. So this is a great little technique. It doesn't look like much, but works really well and it stops all those scrambles and that. So if he comes up in his elbow, Here I can do the exact same techniques. My fingers just go past his elbow, and then I use my body weight. So my hands are facing out, my hips are in the right position, obviously my legs are supporting me, and I just send my body weight from his right hip over to his left shoulder here. Now he's weak. Alright, so what we basically did was we killed the underhook as much as we can by bringing our armpit down towards the wrist. I go reverse crossface flare, and I move my head and my right arm as far away from my left elbow as possible here. I straighten my left leg, this puts my weight on its hips, and then watch the way I roll from a belly down position to a side on position. Isolate the arm, right hand goes on the inside, and now this is the detail we want to free the legs. I'm going to hip escape, and I'm going to get my left knee inside his right hip. Here. See the way his knees are like kind of touching the floor? This is the best way. The more his knees and hips wind up towards the ceiling, the more he can move my weight, and the more I get my weight on top of him, and then I'll end up being rolled. So when we hip escape, we want this knee to the floor. Left leg kicks, right leg pulls, and right hand pulls to separate here. Alright, side, so you go from your side. Near side underhook, bring the weight to the far side. Reverse crossface, move our head away from that. Roll from a belly down position to a side on position. Scoop grip, and we can isolate the arm here. So when we hip escape, we want to make space to get our left knee inside, and also we want to be able to free our right knee. Here. Left knee's in or left knee and shin's in like an upright position. Kick with the left leg, pull with the right hand, pull with the right leg. Alright? And then all we do is knee tap, step over the belt line, and then watch the way I get an underhook, and watch the way my head goes back to the center line, to flatten them out, start isolating the arms and everything else. Alright? That's the last one. 3, 2, 1.